3 years on YouTube, 1 year monetized, and this is my journey and how much I made. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Nuria, and in this channel we do a lot of sewing, a lot of drafting, and we're creating our dream wardrobe. I want to ask you, if you're not into all those things, please do not subscribe, but I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. I started YouTube back in 2022, one, because I needed a creative outlet, two, because I wanted to make myself accountable for finishing projects, and three, because someone told me I was not going to make it. If there's something that motivates me, is someone telling me I cannot do something. I know I have issues. If you don't know, to make money on YouTube, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 viewing hours. I started this journey knowing how to sew, but I had no idea how to talk to the camera, how to film, how to script, how to edit, how to take pictures, nothing. So every night before going to sleep, I would get my phone out and I would film myself telling the phone how my day was to try and feel more comfortable in front of the camera. I started filming my first video in May of 2022 and I did not post it until November of 2022, so 6 months afterwards. I was mortified. I did not know how that was going to go, and at that time I was working 40 hours a week. After I posted it, the first months were calm. People that were watching were my family and friends, so I was not getting that many subscribers or viewing hours. Then we move into 2023, and at this point I wanted to get a little bit more consistent, and I was starting to not like my job, so I moved into a 36-hour week. Here I was playing around, I was trying to discover who I was trying vlogs, I was trying educational content, shorts, lots of things. I basically wanted to know what I was good at and what other people liked. My subscriber count was very different every month, but overall you could see that it was a growing trend, so I was very happy about that. Until the 13th of September of 2023, when I finally reached 1,000 subscribers. When that happened, I noticed YouTube gave me a push on views, and around that time I had, I think, 21 videos out, and I was around also 1,853 viewing hours, so still very far away from the 4,000 hours. So I decided to continue. 2024 started, and at this point I absolutely hated my job. I decided to move to 32 hours a week, and I also decided that I wanted to get my channel monetized. I was getting married in 2024, so leaving my job was not an option because we needed the money. I tried sticking to posting 2 to 3 videos a month, and it was very difficult, but slowly and surely I finally reached my 4,000 viewing hours. That was the 27th of April of 2024. And at that moment, I had around 4,400 subscribers. It took a while to process all my viewing hours and my data and all these things, so I didn't get paid until the 3rd of June of 2024, and those days I was with some friends, and I've never felt so empowered and scared at the same time. I was tired but hopeful. I managed to get monetized by posting close to nothing, so I knew that if I put a little bit more effort, maybe I was able to make something out of it. I didn't know what to expect, but I wanted more, so I continued. In June, I made 23 euros. In July, I made 32. In August, I made 22. In September, I made 17. October, I made 69 euros. And November, I made 45 euros. And this was all with an average of 10,000 views per month. It was not much, but November of 2024, I reached 10,000 subscribers, and that was a huge milestone for me. With this also came my first sponsorship deal, which was really exciting, but I was starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed because on top of YouTube, I was trying to grow Instagram, TikTok, I was building my website. I had all these things on the background, and it was very difficult to keep up. And November of 2024, I also got married. For a second, everything stopped. I was the happiest I've ever been in my personal life, and at the same time, I was absolutely miserable at my job. I was sad, I was frustrated, and I was bored out of my mind. But that's when Owen said it. He said, "Why don't you do it? Why don't you just quit your job?" We were done paying for the wedding, and I had something saved up that could get me going for a couple of months. So December of 2024, I decided to quit. In 2025, my mood changed straight away. I was happy all the time, I was cheerful, I was full of energy, of ideas. I wanted to eat the world. Up until that moment, I was making very little money, and there was a huge disconnection between the amount of subscribers I was getting and the amount of views I was getting. It's like people liked me, but they didn't want to watch my content, kind of. I found out that most of my subscribers were coming from educational content, but those people were not interested in my vlogs. And at the same time, I saw that my educational videos were making me around 3 euros per 1,000 views, and on the other side, the vlogs were making me around 6 to 7 euros per 1,000 views. So I had to come up with an idea to make that work. So in February 2025, I decided to split my channel into vlogs and educational content. I'm not gonna lie, that was a very scary moment because my main channel went through a dip. One, because I lost some subscribers that came for my educational content, so then they were not interested in my content anymore. And two, because my videos with the most amount of views were also educational videos, so I lost all those views. It was very, very scary, but I stuck to it. Then in January I made 35 euros, in February I made 39 euros, and in March I made 27 euros. In March of 2025, I decided to open Nuriamo as a company, and I did that because I wanted to stop telling myself that this was just a hobby. I wanted to feel like it was something more. It was time for a strategy change. So I sat down and I thought, what do I like doing? I like doing vlogs, sewing clothes, sewing my wardrobe. What am I good at? I'm good at teaching. I'm good at sewing, at making all these clothes. And what do people want from me? Probably they want to learn and be entertained. So I came up with the Making Your Wardrobe series. And that right there is where my luck changed. In April, I had around 50,000 views, and that brought me 258 euros. And in May, I had around 45,000 views, and that brought me around 215 euros. And I know it's not a lot, but if you compare it to where I was coming from, it is a lot. That means that my first year of being monetized, I had around 210,000 views, and I made 845 euros and 89 cents. And I ended the year with 16.9 thousand subscribers. Look, I know it's not a lot, and I genuinely do not know where this is going to go, but I'm going to keep trying, because although I'm scared and running out of money, I'm also as excited as the first day. And now that I'm done with the little story, let me put down the blinds and tell you some tips and tricks if you want to follow my steps. I'm sweating so much. The first tip is that YouTube, and this niche specifically, sewing, it's very hard. Having a video out takes me around 40 hours now that I know how to edit and how to do all these things, but at the beginning it took me maybe double. And if I take on a project that is a little bit more complicated than a top, so if, let's say, I try to do a jacket, it's also going to take me double the time because you have to sew the actual piece. So just have that in mind if you're starting. The second tip is that YouTube is a long-term game, and of course you can be lucky, but chances are pretty low. And you have to just keep going. It's like investing. Just when you start, define your values, define what's important to you, and stick to those things, because it's very easy to sell yourself and to do things that you don't want just for money, but you're basically building a brand for yourself. And one day when you make it, you want that brand to define who you are as a person. Have patience and don't sell yourself, because I promise you that quality is better than quantity. The third one is that the learning curve is huge. I'm not just talking about sewing. I knew how to sew. I didn't know how to draft that much. It took me a while to learn that. But on top of that, everything I've talked about, the talking in front of the camera, filming, editing, scripting, thumbnails, there's so much to learn. And I promise it gets easier, but don't expect to be the best at the beginning. So just get a video done and get it out, and it's going to improve video by video. So have patience. My next tip is try to discover yourself. It's okay if when you start, you have no idea who you are. At this point, I still don't know who I am. I have YouTubers that I look up to and that I use as my inspiration. But the truth is that when you are actually trying to do what they're doing, it's never going to be the same, because you are different. I make the silences in other places, or I edit it another way, or I make different faces. So at the end of the day, just use that as inspiration, but at the same time, don't worry about being yourself, because that's what people are looking for. One thing I realized is that I'm actually really bad at short form content. So I don't do it because I hate it. I'm not good at it. And I don't like what it brings to society. So I do it on Instagram sometimes, but not that much, to be honest. My next tip is not a tip, is actually a problem that you're going to face, and it's that YouTube is very, very public, and you come here and you always have to look happy and be energized to keep people engaged, and sometimes you don't have the energy to do that. So that's extremely exhausting. So I could be like this in a day, and then before filming the video I would be, and then I would start talking. But that's not how I feel. At the end of the day, I'm human, and I think it happens to absolutely everyone out there. For example, for me, 2024 was a really hard year, but if you want something to work, you have to keep showing up. So just have that in mind. And finally, the most important one for me, that everyone says it the opposite way, is do not tell anyone you're doing this. I know at the beginning you want to blow up and have all your family and friends watch what you're doing, but the truth is we all have people that support us and that love us and that want to give us a hand, but when you post a video, they probably are not going to be interested in that specific niche, and that's okay. But the fact that they are not going to watch all your content is going to set the algorithm off. So just tell them if you want to, but tell them to not subscribe if they are not going to watch your content, because at the end of the day, YouTube wants your followers to watch your content. Otherwise, it's not going to make you grow. But that is everything for today. I hope you enjoyed my little story. And if you want to create your YouTube channel, I would say get ready for hard work and a lot of satisfaction, because for me, I've never been this happy. Thank you for following, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.